it brings together in the first new commercial tool, cost and carbon are treated equally.
Okay.
We don't distinguish.
Yeah.
When we talk cost, we mean carbon. When we talk carbon, we mean cost. We don't distinguish. We don't have this distinction between the two. It's a dual currency system.
There's a big transition happening at the moment in relation to carbon. What you're seeing is a lot of these specialist consultancies focusing on carbon and LCA, and we've been talking about this for the last year or more, I guess, at this stage, saying how really the carbon process, the LCA process, is a calculation process. It's the same as the cost process. The basis of information is the same. It's quantum, right? The quantum is coming from the same place. And then you have a calculation, two separate currencies with two separate outputs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really the quantity surveyor that's the best placed and best positioned to take on this responsibility for carbon and LCA calculations. At least that's our opinion. So what we're seeing, what we're predicting, is that these specialist LCA and carbon consultants actually will die away because it will be taken up by your traditional quantity surveying practices. I don't know, are you seeing anything like that happen in the industry, or what's your opinion on that?
Okay, so this is my opinion rather than a sterling opinion.
Yeah,
okay,
sure,
so this is my opinion. Yeah. But I think the big companies have tried to make carbon complex.
Yeah.
I think they've overcomplicated the whole story.
Yeah.
There's a muddle in between what ESG is.
Yeah.
So we don't, QSs don't do ESG.
No.
We do Scope 3, hardcore construction carbon.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does that mean? What does that rely on? It relies on exactly what you said. It relies on quantum. I need to quantify what I'm doing. Who are the best people to quantify things? QS, let's call them QSs or estimates. Let's not, because actually they're the same thing. But people who are used to quantify. Just yesterday, I was talking to a really smart company, very smart lady in a company, who says, my sustainability team have been trained to go and find alternative solutions, and all they're doing is learning to measure.
Mm.
She said, I've got a team of people that measure who don't know about sustainability. Don't need to know. They need to know what they're doing, but they don't need to know, like, if I've got this kind of material, I can go and replace it with this, and I can go and speak to the engineers, and I can speak to the aesthetics people. She said, my sustainability team are doing spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Not doing their job.
Yeah.
And when I suggested to her that actually the people that are doing the estimates for cost should do it, she's like, that's what I've been saying.
Yeah. So, because it makes sense, right? Again, it's the specialization behind it. And I think that from a carbon perspective, you're like from a cost perspective, you have to have the input of the architect and the engineer. They have to be also the expert when it comes to sustainability and alternative materials and solutions. That's their role and responsibility. But when it comes to costing it, when it comes to carboning it, let that be the QS's responsibility and work collaboratively.
I'm trying to change the perspective on that. Our role, our job as QSs is to shine a very big spotlight where we think their trouble is.
Yeah.
Now that trouble could be you've over-engineered it, it's too expensive, there's data missing where, I can't estimate this because I've not got this much scopes missing or whatever. We're there to shine a big torch on it. We're there to be the experts in understanding the quantum and understanding the bigness, the size of something. And then obviously the rates and everything else is a multiplication of that. Yeah. So we're not there to solve the sustainability problem. We're there to highlight where the challenges are.
Absolutely.
That's our job.
That's absolutely correct. In collaboration with the design team, of course. The design team have to come up with the solutions within the cost and carbon budget that has been set, but again, collaboratively in order to be able to work together to pick the right solution for the right project at the right time, etc.
And we're not, I see too many papers written and on, we're not doing net zero carbon well enough. We're not. No, we're not.
We're not.
No, we're not.
No, and we won't be for a number of years yet. We're not there yet.
But I'm also seeing people say, well, if you can't tell me what the cost differential is between let's call it a normal building and my Save the Planet building, I can't invest in you. We've got green investors that say, if you can evidence to me that this is value for money, whilst value for sustainability, value for the environment, I will give you better rates. No one's doing that.
No.
Why not? Because they're either black or white. It's like lowest cost or lowest carbon. And that's not how it works.
Because lowest cost based on CapEx, really. And carbon needs to be calculated over a life cycle of the building rather than just a capital investment of it, right?
Yeah.
So, and this becomes the challenge, because in order for green finance to invest more capex within the building, they need to understand how the building reacts over the next 50, 60 years, depending on what country you're in, when that building is going to strand in relation to carbon. How much more investment will be needed? Is that in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years? And what that entire business case looks like.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge. We're not doing that yet. We're looking at that capital investment with our old, cheapest price, largest return on investment for the capital investment hat on, and that's where the challenge lies.
I would be really happy, Ross. I'll be honestly really happy if we were doing that properly.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We're not doing that.